guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my best tips for beating the bloat. It's almost summertime. We're coming up on bikini season. I don't know about you, but I have chronically struggled with bloating, and I have found some really good tips to help you in your battle against bloat, to help you feel good in your bikini this summer. So if that's something that interests you, stick around for the remainder of this video because I'm gonna be sharing all that good information with you. So this is my first time filming in my front room. I like it. I've got natural light. I'm trying the whole natural light thing. I don't know why I decided though to wear this sweater because it's literally, it's a little warm. It's a little warm in this front room. Anyways, okay, bloating. We're talking about it today. I was so shocked. I did a poll recently on my Instagram and I was so stunned at how many of you guys struggle with bloating. Personally, this has been just a chronic struggle in my life since, as far back as I can remember. And I just thought it was like normal, and then realizing as I got older that it's not normal, to always feel like you're 6 months pregnant. Yeah, that's been me since as far back as I can remember. Yeah, I wanted to do a video talking about this because, girl, let me tell you, like I said, this has been a struggle for me, and there have been so many days where I have just felt so defeated and just like so frustrated with my body. And I have done so much research on the subject. Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but I am a practitioner of all things wellness and health and all of that. And so I thought we could dive in. We could talk kind of, some of the things that cause bloating. And then I want to give you some of my best tips on how to beat the bloat. Make sure you stick around to the end because if you've struggled with constipation while traveling, we're just getting real, you guys. If that's something that you struggle with, being able to go to the bathroom while you travel, I'm going to give you my best advice for that because yeah, no one likes to feel bloated in their bikini, you know what I mean? So where does bloating come from? Obviously, there are a lot of different factors, diet and whatnot. For some people, they have IBS. That's personally been my struggle, is irritable bowel syndrome. I found out, maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I actually had IBS, and which really made a lot of sense for the issues that I've had for years with bloating. So yeah, bloating can come from issues such as IBS, celiac disease, hormonal issues. Women more so struggle with bloating versus men because we actually have a longer intestinal tract. If you didn't know that, you do. And so it's very common for women, especially with our hormone fluctuations through the month, to struggle with holding on to water weight, bloating, etc. For a lot of people though, it really is diet. And that's the first thing I want to dive into, is talking about diet, because what I have found in my journey is that obviously diet affects my bloating more than anything else. I mean, even more so than my hormones through the month. But yeah, I want to talk about diet. There are a lot of different factors with food that do contribute to bloating. And a lot of people, they'll go and they'll start eating healthy and they're like, oh, I'm going to feel so much better. And then they're like, why do I feel like crap? Not everything that's healthy is going to make your body feel good. In fact, here's a list of some common foods that aggravate your bloating. Beans and lentils. I can't do beans. Every time I do beans, I'm literally in pain. And one of my best pieces of advice is you really need to listen to your body and process of elimination. That's really what has helped me throughout the years, is like listening to how my body responds to certain things. And what I have found is that moderation is key. Like there's things I can have in moderation that if I have an excess, I'm just gonna feel super bloated and I'm gonna be in pain. And so beans, lentils, those are for sure a no-go. I can have a little bit of beans and I still am gonna bloat. So I stay away from those. Onions and garlic don't really affect me as much. I feel like I don't really eat a whole lot of those. So that's like a moderation thing for me. Again, you wanna pay attention to your body. Carbonated drinks. This is a big one that I have found for myself that definitely no go. Like I know, I like to have a sparkling water sometimes, and I always, never without fail, feel so bloated after I have it, and it sucks so bad. But the carbonation is obviously gas. That's what carbonation is. And what I found is I start burping. I instantly feel like my stomach just inflates like a balloon. And so that can be a big one for a lot of people that they don't really know how to pinpoint as being something that causes bloating, but it does. Cruciferous vegetables, so broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower. Again, on this cauliflower kick, this is like one of the big, diet fads right now is cauliflower. And unfortunately, If I have too much broccoli or cauliflower, same thing. I feel super bloated, super gassy, and I hurt. And so pay attention to that. You know, if you eat cauliflower and broccoli and then you start feeling bloated, you might want to eliminate them from your diet because they do break down and release a lot of gas in your body. And so those are common ones that do cause bloating. Wheat is a big one that a lot of people talk about. I have found, you know, I just stick away. I pretty much stay away from bread altogether. I'm going to share with you guys like kind of what my diet consists of, but I don't really eat I don't eat bread. I try to stay away from it. The only thing that I have been eating in terms of like, you know, of tortilla or carb is I have been doing these low carb tortillas. They're made by a company called Ole. I'm gonna link everything that I recommend to you guys below so you can find them. I believe you could probably find them on Amazon, but there are my favorite tortillas. They have them in a tortilla size and then a wrap size. And right now I have been using them in a wrap as like my lunch, and they have enough fiber. Like that's what I get my fiber from during the day, because that's another thing, is too much fiber causes bloating. And a lot of people, they start loading up, you know, their plate with beans and all these things that are high in fiber. And they're like, why do I feel so bloated? Because you're getting too much fiber. So I try to stick between like 20 to 30 grams of fiber a day and no more than that. And I find that I feel like my best when I do that. And what I love about these tortillas is they are made with flaxseed and they have really, really good ingredients. And so I'm gonna recommend those below for you guys. But that's pretty much the only like carb I get. Besides, I'll do some white rice, and white rice doesn't seem to bloat me if I have it in moderation. Some people it does, and you know, you have to pay attention to your body. You've got to, you know, listen to how your body responds when you are eating something and make a note of that. That's pretty much how I've learned. Like, I don't want to feel like crap, so I'm not going to eat that. Or, hey, I realize that if I have a little bit of that, I feel okay. But if I have too much of that, I'm in pain. So pay attention to those things. Okay, other things that cause bloating, dairy, obviously that's one that was pretty commonly, you know, shared, I feel like, on social media. I find that a little bit of dairy I'm okay with. So like I'll do a little bit of feta in a salad, and that's okay. I can do a little bit of blue cheese, and that's okay. For whatever reason, those cheeses don't make me bloat, like having cheddar cheese or, you know, obviously drinking a glass of milk. I stick to almond milk if I'm gonna have any milk, or coconut milk. You know, chewing gum, spicy foods, salty foods, pears and apples. This was crazy. I remember this was maybe like a couple years ago now, because I quickly learned what apples do to me. I had a smoothie and they put apples in it, and I kid you not, my stomach was like I bloated so bad and I was in so much pain. And I'm like, what the heck was in this smoothie? Well, they put apples in the smoothie. Went up and, you know, decided to do some research. Come to find out, there's some ingredient in apples and pears that causes, the way it breaks down can cause bloating. So pay attention to that one as well, because that's a little sneaky one that you might not know about. And then another big one that causes bloating, because it really does disrupt your gut, is artificial sweeteners. And, you know, a lot of companies, they market sugar-free, sugar-free, sugar-free. And then what you don't realize is it really jacks up your gut, whatever it's called, your bio, I don't know all the fancy words. It jacks up your gut, basically your flora. That's what it is, your gut flora. You know, can lead to like leaky gut and all these like, you know, gut issues. And sugar, when I have too much like sugar-free stuff, I can't do it. It just, yeah, I'd rather just have like a little bit of honey or something natural that isn't gonna cause me, you know, hey, maybe I have like a piece of dark chocolate, has real sugar in it, but it's like lower in sugar content. That's gonna make me feel a whole lot better than if I have fake sugar. So a lot of people drink, you know, fake sodas, all this stuff. No, bad. It's gonna make you bloat. I feel like the mom is coming out at me like, no, bad, don't, just don't do it. Okay, here's another thing that causes bloating. I promise I'm gonna give you like the tips, but I wanted to just kind of share with you guys some things that I have found, you know, personally, that causes caffeine, okay? Caffeine is another one that causes bloating. It causes you to actually hold on to water. And it's funny is, so like last week, so I actually have cut caffeine in the morning. I don't do coffee in the mornings. I drink maca, which if you saw my maca video, you would know that, which you can go and watch. I actually have my iced maca right here. This is what I'm drinking, because here's what happened, okay? You know, I do my maca in the morning. That's like my routine. And you know, mama likes a little iced coffee in the afternoon, not even just to pick me up, but just because I like an iced coffee. And so last week, got an iced coffee kick. Okay, I was going to my favorite coffee shop and getting iced coffee like every single day. And I started like maybe 4 days in. I want to say it was maybe like last Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday or Saturday. After having a full week of iced coffees in the afternoon, that I got outside. Okay, sometimes I'll have iced coffee at home where I buy the iced coffee and then I'll add like a little bit of my almond creamer to it or whatever. That doesn't seem to bother me as much as like going to a coffee shop. But yeah, I had a little too much iced coffee and I was so bloated on Saturday. My stomach was like hurting. I just could feel my body like inflamed, if that makes sense. And so I was like, okay, I need to cut out the iced coffee. So I'm doing iced maca now in the afternoon because you can make it iced and it actually is really good. I've had it iced before, but I just had to get that out of my brain. Like, you don't need the iced coffee, just have an iced maca. And I'm enjoying it. It's like an iced mocha is what it reminds me of. So yeah, coffee's another big one. Inflammatory foods. Oh, inflammatory foods. Okay, corn, there's other things. Go look them up on Pinterest. I don't have time to go into all of that today, but my diet, I really try to stick to an anti-inflammatory diet. If you go and you look it up on Pinterest, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll do another video on this subject, but things like corn, inflammatory, peanuts and nuts, inflammatory, cheeses, inflammatory. And when your body's in an inflamed state, you're gonna hurt. And that's what I found. Well, and obviously my husband has diabetes, and what we have found for his diabetes is that an anti-inflammatory diet really works the best. That's what we've adopted. And so I really try to stick to low inflammatory foods. If I have too much corn, like going out to a Mexican restaurant, right? Like I have to know when I do that I'm probably not going to feel very good later. And it's a splurge for me. And I just, do it when we go to Mexico on trips, because we love to travel to Mexico. And I'm going to share some of like my travel tips towards the end of the video. Obviously I'm going to have some tortilla chips with guac or whatever. Maybe I'm having a little bit more corn, but I really try to monitor that. And then I make sure I'm drinking tons and tons of water. I'm doing all of my good healthy things to try and keep my body from being inflamed. So watch out for inflammatory foods. If you do struggle with bloating, I do highly recommend you adopting some anti-inflammatory practices into your diet and seeing how that helps you. I don't do a ton of like raw spinach or lettuce either. I make sure that if I'm gonna have those things, either I'm gonna get them in a powdered form in a smoothie, or I'm gonna maybe have a little tiny bit of lettuce during the afternoon. Romaine doesn't seem to like hurt me as bad as raw spinach for whatever reason, but I'll put a little bit of romaine in a wrap. If I'm gonna be trying to get a lot of vegetables and greens in, I will stick to anti-inflammatory greens in like food form if I'm gonna eat them. So like asparagus I love because it's actually a diuretic, which helps you with water retention. So if you're bloating, eat some asparagus because it's gonna help you pee out all that like extra fluid. That's a little pro tip for you. But yeah, so I really get my greens in powdered form versus eating them raw, because raw vegetables are very hard for your body to break down. So you want to have them in either like small amounts or in a powdered form, like a smoothie. That's not going to be a lot. It's going to be very taxing on your body to break down. This leads me into my tips for you guys when it comes to bloating. I think I'm kind of like intermingling tips in and throughout this conversation, but some tips. Eat smaller meals. This is something that I found to work very well for me instead of eating big meals. And I actually had to stop doing intermittent fasting because what I found was that going too long messed with my gut and I was struggling with more bloating. So what I find is first thing I'm going to eat in the morning usually is before my workout. I'll have a little protein bar. I like the Kodiak cakes. I'll link those below for you guys as well. They're a great protein bar and they don't make me feel bloated. So there's that. And they are peanut butter. So I don't know what it is about these rolled oats, but I actually don't feel bad when I eat them. And that's what's weird, is there's certain things that I know will bloat me, but then there's certain things that are made with those things that don't. So it's all trial and error. I feel like you got to try stuff, see what works for you, see what doesn't. But I'll usually do one of those pre-workout because I feel like the macros are really good and they give me energy. And then I'll come home and I'll, make a little bit of breakfast. Maybe I have, an egg or a little scramble. That's kind of, my go-to in the morning. From then on, I'm eating little small meals throughout the day until dinner. And I find that if I eat like every, 2 hours, just a little something, it's enough for my body to break down. It's not too much. My gut isn't feeling like it's going these long stretches without eating and then making me feel bloated. And so, yeah, that's what I have found to work for me personally. Another big tip is obviously you're gonna, if you research you know, tips for bloating, whatever. They're gonna tell you, drink water, drink water. I suggest drinking infused water. So I like water with lemon, with lime, with ginger. I will chop it up. I'll just throw it in a really big cup with ice, and I will just let it like be in there all day, and I'll just keep filling it up and filling it up. Or you can make a big jug of water, but infused water is a game changer for helping with bloating. And this is something I do when we travel. I'll make sure I'm drinking a ton of lemon water, staying hydrated. Obviously, getting dehydrated is another factor that is going to make you feel bloated. So drink infused water. I think there was somewhere I read like a bloat, like detox water. It was, it had lemon, like a sprig of rosemary, a half a grapefruit, and I think some mint, and I would probably add ginger in there. I'm gonna try that recipe because it actually sounded really refreshing. So infused water is a really, really big help if you are like an immediate help if you're struggling with bloating. Another thing that I do, especially when we travel, I don't do it so much at home just because I feel like it just gets really expensive, and I just try to stay away from a lot of foods that do bloat me. But if I'm traveling and I'm eating things that maybe I wouldn't normally eat on a daily basis, I will take some digestive enzymes with my food. And what those do is they're gonna help your body break down the food that you're eating. And I am a big believer in them. I will take them, like I said, if I'm in Mexico, I'm eating, you know, tortilla chips and maybe I'm having some tacos, I'm gonna take some digestive enzymes with those meals because it's gonna help my body break it down. It's going to lead to less bloating and less like pain in my body. And so digestive enzymes are a huge, huge help to make you not feel bloated if you are eating stuff that is more inflammatory or not in your normal diet. You know, no one wants to feel bloated when they're like trying to feel sexy. You know, like you're on vacation, you're trying to feel good. You don't want to feel bloated. So get some digestive enzymes. I'm telling you, it'll help you. Okay, we're coming to the end of time. I wanted to give you one last little tip if you struggle with constipation while traveling. This is something that I do and I have done for quite a few years because I literally, one time, you guys, I went to Hawaii and I didn't poop for a week. An entire week. Did not poop. Yep. Felt pretty gross, to say the least, you know? Felt pretty gross. One thing I started doing is I stumbled across these healthy like laxatives that I take with me on trips, and they are very potent, you guys. I'm gonna link them below. They work very well. You want to obviously, you know, see how much of it your body can take. I recommend definitely starting with like one, like maybe 2 pills, and you take it at night. And what it does is it, you know, is going to help you the next morning have to go to the bathroom, because obviously not being able to poop makes you feel real bloated. You feel backed up, don't feel good, you know what I mean? So this is something I do. I think I will take 2 or 3, but you know, if your body's not used to that, obviously you could be, you know, you don't want to shart yourself, all right? You don't want to shart yourself. You want to make sure that you are, you know, just able to have a nice healthy bowel movement in the morning, and you feel good throughout the day. You're not going to like run to the bathroom every 10 minutes, you know? So definitely start with 1 or 2, but I don't do any more than 3 of them. I take them at night. Next morning, I am good to go. And those have been a game changer. And I always feel so much better if I poop in the morning. You know, you get rid of all that stuff out of your body from the day before. You feel good. You feel, you know, like healthy. You don't feel bloated. And so that is a little pro tip for you. I'm going to link them below. They're from Nature's Sunshine. I haven't found any others that I like or compare to these ones. So I think they're called like LBS, but yeah, everything's going to be linked below for you guys. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Okay, we're going to tell everybody bye. Can you tell them bye? Say bye-bye. Say see you in mommy's next video. Can you blow kisses? Mwah.